Mr. Alamin.
Yes, go ahead.
There is a request from your class from one of the attendees. Requested to just explain the local and shared object repository just before starting again.
All right, sure, no problem.
Okay, thank you.
All right, Ahmad Islam, what kind of question that you have about drag and drop? To open the browser? What do you mean to pull up the browser? To open the browser, you click on Start All Programs and then Internet Explorer. All right. By the way, guys, the attachments are up now, up until, let me show you actually. And the avatar, the pictures are okay too now.
Yes, and thank you, Alamin. I found it. The problems are gone, so hopefully things will go all right. Let us find some of the lost one after March. I will be finding them anyway.
No, up until this one, it's working. Sorry, this one. So August 9, 2014, up until this one, it's working. Only these two are not working.
Okay, I got it. Let me find that. Just after August 9, I'll be looking for it. Okay, not a problem. Okay.
So the first one in the Quick Test Pro framework, the first node and the second node is missing, and everything else is working. So you guys could download it yesterday night. I mean, actually today's night. I mean, in your time, in the morning it got fixed. Okay, so guys, you could download it, but this one I'll re-upload, and the previous past notes I'll re-upload today. Okay, so you could download it.
Okay.
And all the pictures are working. I mean, the avatars. Okay, Ahmad Islam, please pay attention. What are we gonna do? I'm gonna show that where to click on the. You were talking about drag and drop, right? Okay, so I'll show you that. Okay, all right. Anyway, so guys. So shared object repository, which is very, very important. So any more questions actually before I start? Any more questions at all? Drag and drop and local and shared object repository. These are the two things that I'm going to show right now. Is there any more questions? All right, so let's get started. So let's do drag and drop first. Okay. So as you guys could tell, as we discussed about it, so when we record something, you already know there is every action that we take, right? Every action, every single action that we take gets saved. Every action gets saved in a place called object repository, right? So let's do that actually first, so it will be clear, more clear. So if we record something, let's say I want to accomplish a simple test, which looks like this. Go to PeopleNtech.com. Go to PeopleNtech.com. Check if mission, very simple, and vision links are working, right? So what is the first step? Guys, the steps that I'm writing, you have to actually, when you go to in your workplace, you actually have to write them down too, the way that I'm writing, right? And then you have to take the actions. All right, so when you practice, try to do it this way, right? It not necessarily has to be the same test. You could do something else too, but write down the steps, okay? So the first step would be open IE. What would be the second step? IE means Internet Explorer, you could tell, right? And then go to, or navigate to, right? Go to PeopleNtech.com. All right. So open IE, go to PeopleNtech. And then click on mission and vision link. Actually, sorry, little by little, right? Click on vision link. Okay. So we'll take all of these steps to complete this test, get this test case. All right, so let's do that. With record and run, very simply, let's do record for all of these steps. So click on record, as you know, and click on OK. Click on all programs, start all programs, and then Internet Explorer. All right, and then right, people. Click on mission, then vision, close the browser. Very simple, right? So remember we learned about weight. So, and you could delete the sync because this is not needed. So remember we learned about wait statement. This is called wait statement. So if you put that, it will wait 5 seconds before going to the next step. So each of these lines are steps, right? As you could see, that this will open Internet Explorer, and then this will go to PeopleNtech, and then it will wait 5 seconds. And then it will click on mission, and then it will wait 5 more seconds, and then it will click on vision, right? Then wait 5 seconds, and then close the browser. Okay guys, so let's run this. Let's see if it's working. Alright, so you see it's working, right? All of the steps that we wanted to take is working, right? Alright, so now look, the object repository, it was blank before, right? Now when you recorded something, every single step got recorded here, right? Right? So without this, we already know that, we have tested that many times, that without this object repository, this test, these lines of code doesn't matter, right? In record and run, all of these lines doesn't count if you do not count if you don't have this object repository, right? You know that, right? Okay, so there is another way to do this test, all these steps that we have taken without actually recording. So in interviews, or if they ask you, so is there any other way to accomplish a test without, using object repository, but without using record and run? Without using record function, is there any other way that you can use object repository to accomplish your test? What would you do? You would say, of course there is, and that's called drag and drop with object repository, right? So let's create a new one. Let's do the exact same test. With this one, we did record and run with object repository, but the next one we're gonna do with drag and drop without recording. We're gonna do drag and drop with object repository. So we're gonna manually, see, look, this object repository is empty, right? We're gonna manually add the steps that we're gonna take without clicking on record. Record, when we press on record, guys, please try to understand what I'm trying to tell you guys. This is very important. When we're recording, when you click on this record button, everything that we are clicking on or whatever actions that we are taking will be recorded, right? But in this way, with drag and drop, we're gonna add all the actions or all the objects that we're gonna interact with. You guys understand what is object, right? So every object that we want to interact with, could be added manually in object repository, in this object repository. Without object repository, none of the script that we write here will work. Okay. So how can we add those objects in the object repository manually? Look. So what was the first step in this? Open IE, remember? So let's open IE. So who was that? Ahmad? Ahmad Islam? Please pay attention. How do I add objects? I mean, the Internet Explorer. All right. So all programs, let's run Internet Explorer, right? Right. And then, all right, PeopleNtech. So that's the second step, right? So I'm taking this, doesn't matter. So click on this sign, right? This plus sign, or you could click on object and then click on add objects. Do you see? So what I was saying, that all the objects that you want to interact with or you want to do something with, you click on add objects to local and then add that object that you want to interact with. So click anywhere in this page, anywhere. Okay. Do you see? PeopleNtech page. Do you see there's hierarchy? There's, remember the people that took the ALM classes or SQL classes, there is something called parent and then child, right? So there are hierarchy and then lower keys. Look, in here too, the browser is the parent, as the page is this child, and the web element is the, you can say grandchild, whatever, but it's called hierarchy. This one is the hierarchy, and then all these are lower keys. So look how it goes. Every single thing that you want, you interact with, will have hierarchies, and then what does this mean? So this means this lower key is dependent on this hierarchy. Okay? To go to this lower key, you have to go through the hierarchy. Guys, is it making sense? So look, to open, actually first let me show you that. To go to PeopleNtech.com, to click on mission, what is the very first thing that you have to do? Let's say your supervisor comes and tells you, check the mission link in PeopleNtech website. That's your test. So what is the very first thing that you have to do to even click on this mission link? Anyone? Yes, open IE, right? Open Internet Explorer. So do you understand? This is the hierarchy. This is the first thing that you have to do. So the browser, guys, please pay attention to what I'm saying. This is very important what I'm saying right now. The very first thing, or the very primary thing that you have to do is to open the browser. So the browser itself is the hierarchy. So, and then go to PeopleNtech. So the PeopleNtech website is the secondary key. Are you following? So the primary key is the browser. So in this test, the primary key or key is the browser. And then The secondary key is the website, right? Or PeopleNtech. Or PeopleNtech.com. And the third one is what? Then the third one is, the final one is clicking on the mission, right? Guys, are you following? So do you see? So to go to the lower key, the lowest key, so this is the lowest key, right? You have to go through the browser and then website or PeopleNtech, and then you could click on the mission link. So your job or your test was to check the mission link in PeopleNtech.com. So look, to check the mission link in PeopleNtech.com, you had to go through the browser and then the PeopleNtech website, and then you could have clicked on mission link. Guys, are you following? Do you see how it works? So the primary key or the hierarchy is the browser, and then the secondary key is the PeopleNtech, and then the lower key, the lowest key is the mission link. Do you follow, guys? Oh yeah. Yeah, I'm sorry. See, I told you I'm very bad at spelling. All right, so anyway, guys, do you understand what I'm saying? This is very important, very, very important. You need to understand this. You need to understand this in order for you to understand everything that we're going to do. You have to okay, so guys, please pay attention. So in order for you to go to the mission link, you have to go through these two hierarchies, right? So hierarchy, and then the secondary key, then the lowest key. Okay, all right, this needs to be very clear. All right, so all right, so we're talking about drag and drop, right? So look, so exactly the same way. So we open, to accomplish our test, we need to open IE and then go to PeopleNtech.com, right? So let's do that manually. Open Internet Explorer and then go to PeopleNtech. And now we need to add the object, right? So click on this sign, or you could click on from here, right? And click anywhere in this page. So look, so do you see now? Do you guys see how it's working here? So now, do you understand? So you guys tell me which one is the hierarchy here? This one, right? And then this is the secondary key. Do you see? And then it goes to the last one. Do you understand? So first, we have to open the browser. So you click on the hierarchy. Guys, please pay attention. No, don't worry about this. Don't worry about web element, why it says web element. But do you see the hierarchy is the browser? So you have to click on the browser in order for you to go and click on the mission and vision link, right? So just click on the hierarchy, since we need to add the hierarchy. Guys, are you following? Okay. Click OK. You see the browser is added, but you're not going to add the browser like this. So do you see? You could add the hierarchy like that. All right. So in drag and drop, you're going to open the browser manually. You have to type in this. You can remember this, or if you practice it 2-3 times, you'll remember it anyway. Because you will remember it anyway, because later on we're gonna do we're gonna type in this when we start learning distributed programming. So you'll remember it anyway. So you have to write system util dot run iexplore.exe. I have explained what is iexplore.exe. That's the name. And then I'm going to go to. So this has to be written manually, okay guys? To open the Internet Explorer with drag and drop, you have to write iexplore.exe systemutil.run. So I'm saying run the system utility called Internet Explorer and go to PeopleNtech.com. Okay. So these 2 steps are done with 1 line. Okay. All right. So that's how you do it. Ahmad Islam from LA or Louisiana. Okay. All right. So now we are going to click on Vision Link and then Mission Link. So now we're going to add them. So go to Object Repository and now click on this again. And now we're going to click on Mission Link, right? So click on the mission. So do you see? So always look at this object selection window. Guys, please pay attention. Object selection window, and you will see there are many. The first one is higher, and the secondary key. If the hierarchy and the secondary key is okay, and forget about these web table. Don't worry about them. You don't really need to worry about them. And then you see it's clicked on, or the object that you were trying to add, which is mission link, right? So the mission link is selected, and then click on OK. Do you see? And now just drag and drop here. So look, do you see? Mission link, click has been added. So can we do this? And then we add vision link, right? Add objects local again, and then click on vision. So do you see all of these higher secondary keys came, and then the lower key came. Click on OK, and then just drag and drop. Do you see? Mission and vision has been added. So can you add drag and drop? I mean, can you do drag and drop? Very simple, guys. Whatever. So let's say there is another one. You want to click on About Us. Click on About Us. Do you see? And just add About Us. So can you do that? And now if you want to close the browser, what would you do? You just see, this is the browser, right? You remember this is the browser. So you just drag this and close it, and you, instead of writing sync, you're gonna say close. That's it. So you click on mission, you click on vision, and it will click on About Us. So can you do drag and drop, guys? Is everyone clear? Very simple. Okay, so this first step, again guys, this one you have to write manually, right? Because If you don't write this manually with drag and drop, there is no other way. I mean, there is another way, but that's more longer way. But this is very simple. You just write this, just memorize it, okay? For now, just memorize it. You'll remember it anyway, because this is how we're gonna write from later on, okay? So just memorize it. We are just saying system-util.run, and then iExplorer stands for Internet Explorer, and then this stands for the place that you want to go, right? And then all of these were done by drag and drop, right, guys? Okay, so let's run this and let's see if it's working. Okay. First, close this browser. Mission link, and then it should click on vision. And about us, and then it closes the browser. So can you do it? Very easy, right, guys? So the objects, like mission link, this is an object, or the vision link, or the about us link. All of these objects, we wanted to interact with these objects, right? And that's why we added those objects by clicking on this add objects to local, or by clicking on this, and we just dragged them like that and drop it here, right, guys? Everyone follows? I don't know. But anyway, guys, it just had when I was trying. But anyway, do you understand? Very simple, right? Mission, vision, and any object that you want to add, you could add them from object repository, and then clicking on this plus sign, and then adding them from there. Okay, guys, everyone is clear? Very simple. Okay. So now let's create a new test to talk about the local and shared object repository. Very, very, very important. Okay. So let's record something very simple. So the drag and drop, the shared and local object repository. So this is done. Guys, if you have any question, I'll take it in a second, but let's finish it. And before we go to the break, or after we come back from break, we'll take questions, okay? All right, so let's just follow right now. Okay. Local object repository. So what is local object repository? And what is shared object repository? You guys need to tell me what is this. So what is a local object repository? Anyone? Okay, anyone remembers the definition of it? I did give out the definition. All right. So the repository, that we that gets created while we record anything. The repository that gets created, we saw when we record something. It's called local object repository, which is not shareable, right? We cannot share that object repository. So let's do a record, and that will make it more clear. So let's do a simple record. Click OK. Start all programs. Transfer. Information, and then region, and close the browser. Right? Very simple. Okay, guys, please pay attention. You could delete all of this. Just delete all of them. But, alright. See, I'm saying system util run. You don't even have to add this. Remember. That's it. Okay. All right. So after going to the PeopleNtech, we go to link, mission and vision link. So look, so we did a simple record, right? And do you see the object repository that got created? Right. This object repository is local object repository that got created, right? So let's save this, and then I could show you what is local object repository. So we saved it, and you will see if you go to the place that we saved it in this one, and if you go to action 1, you will see the object repository that got created. It got created called .bdb. Remember the extension was, so what is the extension for local object repository? Anyone remembers? It's BDV. And what is the shared object repository extension? Very important. Anyone? PSR, right? Okay. So the object repository that got created, that we could see here right now, all of these actions, all these objects that has actions got created as BDB, and this cannot be copied or anything, right, outside of this script. So let's say you want to, someone else, some of your co-worker wants to use this script because he's a tester and he's doing similar type of test. So he wants to take your script and run on his computer, right? So how can he do that? Can he just copy this? And then let's say in his computer he has something like this. And if you just paste it, this script, do you think it will work? Let's look what it says. So the browser object was not found in the object repository. Do you understand? Look, in this line it goes like this too. Browser is the hierarchy and the page is the secondary, and the last one is the lower key, right? So it goes like that too. But anyway, so my point is, so it doesn't have any object repository here. So what can you do? Can you add that BDV? Remember that BDV? Where is it? As a object repository with this object repository. So if let's say you want to open something, associate repository, and now you want to associate a repository, do you see that BDV here anywhere? No. So your script is gonna work, the script that he copied? Absolutely not. First you have to go back and open your script, and then make your object repository shareable. How can you do that? First you have to share. You have to make your object repository shareable. Yes, the object repository is there, but it's local object repository, the BDB one, right? See? So you have to make this object repository shareable. In order for you to add this object repository, in order for anyone else to use this object repository, you have to make it shareable. So how can you do it? You click on File, and then you click on Export Local Objects. Again, go to the actual script, and you click on File, and then you click on Export Local Objects. And then you name it something, shared object, or my shared object repository. You don't have to worry about anything, just click on Create. And now close it, and now copy this script, and then click on New. And now if you paste this, still it will not work. Now you have to associate the repository that you made as shared. So click on object repository and then click on tools and then you click on associate repositories. Click on the plus sign. And now do you see my shared object repository? Now is it shareable? I mean, is it addable? Like, can you add this now? Before you didn't see anything that that was local, right? Now, since you made this shareable, your object repository, now you could see it. Now you could add it too, right? And you click on the shared object repository, and then you click on open, and now click on the action one, and just double click on it, or just click on that, and then click on this sign. Click on OK. So do you see everything got added now? So now, if you play this, let's see if it works. First close this. Now let's run it. So it should go to PeopleNtech and click on mission. So did it click on mission and did it click on vision? Let's see. Yes. The browser gets closed. Everyone understands? Can everyone do shared object repository? Can everyone make the local object repository to a shared object repository? And can they add it? Any questions before we move on? Very simple, guys. You need to understand this because they will ask you questions. What is shared object repository and how do you create it? And what is local object repository? Can you use it as a shared object repository without, I mean, can you use it with another script if you do not share it? So you need to understand it very clearly. All right. Everyone follows? All right, so let's take some questions. Shakib Ahmad. When I do drag and drop and run the result, only the run and web link shows test result. The rest link like mission. Don't worry about that. In the result, don't worry about the result. Don't worry. Do not worry about the result, what it shows and what it doesn't show. You don't really have to worry about it. What do you mean? It doesn't show this? All of these? That's what you mean? So then re-record it and then rerun it, okay? And then you might see it. Mahesh Kaudul from Virginia. When I do systemutil.run, I explore. Probably you're not putting a space. This is, I mean, a space does matter sometimes, so you need to put a space, and you need to be very careful what you're typing. You need to put a comma in between these, and then it will work. It will definitely work. If you write exactly the way I have written it, it will definitely work. Okay, if you just memorize it for now and just write it the way. Then it will work. Okay, just memorize it for now and just write it the way I wrote it. It will work. So what part you guys didn't understand? Why do I need to open a new file? No, I'm just showing an example. Okay guys, it looks like the shared object repository is not clear. Guys, please pay attention what I'm doing right now, okay? From the beginning I'm gonna do, okay? Forget about this, just close it. Oh, alright, so let's just open it again. Let's say this is your computer, right? So you are doing a simple record and run. Guys, please pay attention to what I'm saying, okay? So let's say this is your computer and you are doing a very simple script for record and run. With record and run, okay? All right. So let's do that. So let's simply do something like this. Vision and mission link. So click on record. So this is your computer. Guys, please pay attention to what I'm saying. Okay? So you click on record and you do a simple script with record and run. Click on mission, then you click on vision and then you close the browser. And now let's just delete all of this because these are not needed. So this is your script. Okay, you created this script with simple record and run, right? And you have an object repository with it, obviously, because you did record and run. All right. So let's say now one of your colleague or one of another tester came to you and told you, did you check the mission and vision link? And did you create a script for it, right? This is a script, right? And you would say, yes, I have a script for that mission and vision link validation, right? And now let's say he would say, guys, please pay attention to what I'm saying. Then he would say, can I use your script, right? You would say, of course, yeah, you could use my script. So he would do what? You would just copy this. Just select everything, just copy it. And let's say, actually first save it. Let's save it. So let's say you created your script and you saved it, right? Right. So now let's say he's like, can I use your script? And you would say yes, and then he copies this script, right? And now in his computer, now let's assume that now it's his computer. He created a new test, completely blank test. Now this is his computer, right? And now let's say he pasted or just took your script and copied it in a notepad and then took that and then just pasted it in his computer, right? Let's just say. Pasted it in his computer. Guys, please try to understand what I'm trying to say. So in his computer, he just pasted it. So do you think if he clicks on play, he could run the test? Is it possible? Absolutely not. Why? Because let's open your script. Because your script is dependent on something called object repository, right? So if anyone comes and just copies this whole script and pastes it in his computer, it will not work. He has to copy, or he has to take this object repository with him in order for this script to work. Guys, are you following? So in order for this script to work, the person that's taking this script has to take this object repository too. So he just cannot just, take this. You yourself, the person who created the script, has to make this shared object repository in order for the other person or whoever is taking this script to use it. So how can he make this shared object repository? So how can we make this shared object repository? Can he, when he just copying this script, right, and creating and pasting it in a new test, can he run this? Absolutely not. You, the person that created the script in the first place, has to make his object repository or your object repository shared in order for this script to work anywhere else besides in your computer. So how can you make your object repository shared? File, click on export local objects, the very first one, and then just save it. Click on create. That's it. So now if someone comes and copies it and wants to use your script, he clicks on file, new. Let's say now it's in his computer. If you just paste your script and clicks on run, it will obviously fail. You already know, but let's just see it one more time. Right, so it failed because there is no object repository that is associated with this script. So now, since you you created the script and you made your object repository shared, so the person that copies your script could also copy your object repository by clicking on tools. Guys, please pay attention. Tools, and then click on associate repositories, and then click on this plus sign, and then click on the object repository, and then click on action 1, then click on this sign, click on OK. Do you see everything got added? So do you see? So now if you click on play, do you think it will work? Yes, because he not only, the person that took your script, he not only took your script, but he's also smart enough that to know that he needs the object repository that you created. So he requested you to make the object repository that is associated with this script shareable, so he could add it to his script. Like he added the script from you, he could also add the object repository from yours. So if you don't make it shareable, there is no way he could add it. So that's why you made it shared, and now he added it to his script, so now he could run his script. Okay guys, is it clear? Now everyone is clear? Yes, now anyone could use this script, because the object repository that is associated with this script, you made it shareable. So anyone else, not only one person, anyone in your office, anyone could use this script, because the object repository that is associated with this script is shareable, was made shareable. So anyone could add this script and take this repository. Okay, any more questions before we go to break, guys? Is there any more questions? Tripti Chetri. No, this is because I want everyone to follow, okay? All right, so I'll show you one more time. So if you wanna, if you want to, if you want to make object repository shareable, you click on resources, you click on object repository, and you click on file, and you click on export local object. So if you want to make a object repository shared, you need to click on, you first need to obviously go to object repository, obviously, right? And then you click on file, and then you click on export local objects. Again, file, very simple, export local objects, and then name it something, and then create it. Okay. And if you want to associate any object repository, you click on again object repository and nothing, and then you click on tools, and then you click on associate repositories. Then you click on plus, and then you click on the click on plus, and then you click on the object repository that you want to add, and click on action 1, click on this, and click on. So do you see? So you could add any object repository like that. Okay, Tripti and everyone else. Shumon Karmukar. What? How other user will share this script? Same way, just copy and paste, and then add the shared object repository to your script. That's it. SM Islam, okay? That's how you do it. The same way, just copy this script, and then, let's say someone else wants to use this script, just paste it, and then add the object repository, the shared object repository again. Associate repository. Anywhere, you could add it as many times as you want. Not only once, you could add it as many times as you want, okay? SM Islam. How can I add any specific state from this script as a shared repository? I don't understand your question. Okay. No problem, Tripti. Okay. All right. So, any more questions? It doesn't matter where you save the script, as long as you could share it, right? I mean, it will be, obviously, you will be connected to a network drive, something called network drive, okay? Network administrator will do it for you, so you don't really have to know, okay, how to map a network drive. But still, I think in CNSS class, they show you how to, PeopleNtech shows you how to create a network drive, okay, in CNSS class. So the people that didn't take the CNSS class, you need to take them, okay? It's very important. Still, they will show you, but it's usually the network administrator does it when you start working. So you will save that if you wanna share anything. You will save that file in there will be folders with your name. I still remember I had a shared network shared drive which was 10 terabyte, right? So you will save in your specific name folder, and then anyone could use it, okay? So it doesn't matter which location, they will tell you where to save it if you're sharing something, okay? So don't worry about those. Everything will be told, okay? So you don't really need to worry about things. Okay? All right, so any more questions before we go to break? All right, so let's take a break. Some people want a break. No problem, Tripti. It kind of, yeah, the way you asked was a little funny. So. All right, so let's take a break and come back by 8:25, okay, guys? Thank you so much. I'll see you guys. Something like this. Let's see. So we're gonna check the mission and vision link and then log into people. forum. I'll show you why we need to do split actions. Check messages. Sorry, I'm logging to the forum. Enter. Click on mission link, and after that, click on home. After that, enter username. We're gonna log into the forum. So we're gonna say go to PeopleNtech and check mission links are working. Logging to the forum. Let's do with only these two. So enter username and then enter password. We need to enter the password. Click on. So look what I'm doing. Go to PeopleNtech. We check the mission and then vision link, and then we click back on home back, right? And then we enter our username and then the password, and then click on login. Right. And then click on my message. Well, let's just log in. Okay. So what we did, click on login button. Click on log out, and then we close the browser. Close browser. So let's do this. Let's record all of these steps, okay? And then I'll show you how to split them and why do you need them, okay? Alright, let's record. Click on record. Guys, please pay attention. Mission, vision, and then go back home. Then enter the username and password. That's it, and then log out. Then close the browser. Let's delete some of the things that we don't really need. This is just entering the username and password, right? And then click on login, then log out. So let's see if it's working properly, and then we'll. Yeah. Do you see? There is a problem. I didn't delete the navigate. You see it enter the username and password, and then it should click on login. Log out. And close the browser. All right. So let's split into different parts. Try to see where they put it in the split action option. They do change. They did change it. Alright, so I think it's this one. changed from split action to call to copy action. All right, anyway, it's not a problem. So what we're trying to do is that, look, there are two steps actually in this one. There are two things that we're doing. All right. So let's say we need to log into the forum. Instead of checking, let's say today you were given to test this part and the whole thing, right? But tomorrow the supervisor comes and tells you only log into the forum, right? So what are the parts that you have to retake? To log into the forum, instead of clicking on vision and listen, I mean, in the middle you needed to click on vision and machining. So you didn't, let's say the next day you don't have to take these steps. Guys, please pay attention to what I'm trying to say. Let's say you don't have to take these steps anymore. They just want you to log into the forum. All right. So all of these three steps are not necessary anymore, right? Are you guys following? So we open Internet Explorer and then we go to PeopleNtech and then we enter our username and password. So we don't have to. So we need to split this part and this part separate, and then this part into separate parts. So if we need any of these parts at any time, we could call them up and then just do the parts that we are required to do, right? It'll make more sense once I do it. So let's just follow. So open IE and go to PeopleNtech. Only this part. So to do that, you're going to click on design and you're going to say call to copy of action. And just let it be. First, actually, you have to save it. So let's save the test. Should have speeded it. Not there anymore. Should have been in edit. So then you have to manually do it. But there was an automatic way to do it. What would it do before? If you just select it, right? Let's say mission, vision, and home. These three steps we're separating them. So if you clicked on call to new action, it would have splitted, taken this to this one automatically. But now you gotta do it manually. So let's see. So what we did, look, all of these actions are splitted. So opening Internet Explorer, this is a little bit different. In 11.5, they changed it. Should have. But anyway, we'll do it manually, I guess. So what we did, from our main script, we split it into different actions. Look, all of these steps are split into different actions. So now if we want to skip these three, so let's say we don't need to check anymore mission and vision link, right? We only need to log into the forum. Right? So you could use your same script. You don't really need, let's say there is a really long script. We're trying to test it out with only two of the sections, right? Two of the different types of tests, put it together. But let's say there are like 10 different things that you have to do while you're script. So now re-recording the whole script would take much more time, right? And do it's not there. That was a much more easier way. Okay, it says, I was trying to check in UFT website, it says it's not relevant for UFT anymore. But anyway, whatever, we need to learn it, so we're gonna learn it anyway. So do it manually. Okay, all right. So let's say And now it says go to people, and so we don't need to re-record the whole process again. We could just use our old script. Since we split it already, we could use our old script to reuse it. So look, so to do only to log into the forum, we don't need these steps anymore, right? So look, what are we gonna do? We're gonna open IE, go to PNT, and all of this, right? We have done that already in our previous script. So what we're gonna do, so the action one, the main action, in main action, we're gonna click on this, and we're gonna call to copy of action. So look, so which one, see I should have renamed them, but which one has, action 5 has opening Internet Explorer and going to PNT, right? So we're gonna click on this, or click on design and click on call to copy action, and we're gonna click on action 5 because action 5 has open Internet Explorer. Click on OK. Do you see? So now it will open Internet Explorer. We don't need to re-record anything. And then after opening Internet Explorer, we're gonna just enter our username, password, and then click on login and then log out, right? So now, again, which is action 7, right? I'm gonna do it more nicely in a second, but let's just do it. Let's see if it's working. Then I'll do it more nicely so it makes more, I mean, it'll look nicer because I'm gonna rename them. So let's see. Action 7. Look. So now, does it look okay? I mean, it should. So did you have to re-record anything, right? You just have to skip this, and you skipped it. Let's see if it's working. I'm not really sure why they deleted that option. It's working, I mean, but why it's not working? Oh. It's not even working with the. Alright guys, so I don't know why they deleted the split action option. So what are we gonna do? We're gonna do it because this is dependent on object repository, and object repository is not being splitted. See, with the split action option, what would have happened? I don't know why they deleted it. While you splitted this action, the object repository would be splitted too. So the object repository for these actions only would have been copied here too. And then in action 5, or let's say action 6, all of these actions has object repository associated with it, right? So this would have been also splitted into object repository here, but nothing happened. Do you see? None of this happened. Only the object repository is, you did manually, we did manually do it, but manually doing it didn't work because the actions, the objects that we recorded in the first one stayed in the first one. It didn't get splitted into all of these actions. So what we're gonna do is that once we learn how to do descriptive programming is not dependent on object repository, then we're gonna try to do the split action in UFT 11.5. I have absolutely no idea why they deleted it, but yeah, so we're gonna learn it. After learning descriptive programming, okay guys, so let's leave it like this, because they didn't split any of this object repository to anything. Okay. Sorry about that, guys. All right, let's learn about parameterization. With record and run, okay? This is very important. All right, so what is parameterization? Let me show you an example. Let's go to PeopleNtech. So let's say we have a test. We have a test case that says login to PNT. Guys, please pay attention. Login to PNT program with username. We have some username, test usernames. Let's see if I could find them. Let's do it with the test username. Yeah, right there. Training WD1 to oh my god. Let's delete that entry. Let's create some new. I'm deleting this account for security reasons, so if anyone using this account, please use your own account, because this has been used many times. So let's say create some new member. Training 1. You can do it, but I'm doing it for you guys. Training 1, and let's add training 2. So let's see if we got added all of these members. They did get added. Okay. All right, so all of this we have done to show you what is parameterization, okay? So please pay attention. So let's go to PeopleNtech. Okay. All right, so parameterization. What is parameterization? Parameterization is, let's say, instead of, it says log into PNT forum with username, training 1 with following username. ABCD 1 2 3 4. So I'm giving you username and password, and that's fine because this is used for training purposes. All right. So it says login to PNT forum with following. All right, username, training, and password. ABCD 1 2 3 4. Right. So what would you do? You would follow these steps, right? Go to PeopleNtech. 4, 6, 7. Okay. So look. So now if it says not only one username, do it for 3 of them. Remember we created 3? That's why I wanted to show you. And now it says do it for 3 instead of 1. Oh, how would you do it? With record and run, we're going to learn it, learn parameterization with record and run right now, but later on we're going to learn parameterization with distributed programming also. But let's run with record and run now. Okay. All right, guys, please follow. So let's do it only for 1 right now. How would you do it? Let's record it. And then we enter training 1, ABCD 1 2 3 4. Can we log in? Yes, so we did log in. So do you see? And then log out. And then close the browser. So we recorded with only username and password, right? Okay, but they want to validate if all the usernames, let's say there are more than 1 username and password, then let's say there are thousands. Let's say they give you, your supervisor gives you 100 username and passwords. So do you think it's more, it's efficient to record the same script 1,000 times? Do you think that's even, that doesn't, you know, that does even like look like you're professional? No, they would, no, if you do it like, let's say they give you 10 usernames, right? And you record it 10 times, 10 different times for the same exact thing, except the username and password. All of the other steps are absolutely same. Do you think that would make sense? And they will know right away that you don't know QTP if you do it. And that's when the parameterization comes into place, where you could, instead of using it only once, you could use it 3 times. The script will be same, everything will be same, only the username and password will change. And that's called parameterization, and that's what we're gonna do. So login to be for the following username, right? Yeah, training 1, training 2, and training 3. So what would you do? Would you record it 3 times, 3 different scripts, and run it 3 times? Yeah, of course. You could record it again and then run it over and over again. Absolutely not. That's not what you're gonna do. we're gonna do something called parameterization. To do parameterization, you have to know what is data table, this table. Do you see this table? This is like Microsoft Excel. Did anyone use Microsoft Excel before? Of course, I'm sure every one of you used Microsoft Office Excel. Look, it looks like Office Excel. Do you see? Doesn't it look same? It does the same thing too. Look, A, B, C, D, 1, 2, 3, 4. A, B, C, D, 1, 2, 3, 4. Look, do you see? Okay. So now what are we gonna do? Guys, please follow. I'm gonna explain it little by little later, but just follow what I'm doing right now. So we're gonna enter our username here. Look, training 1, training 2, training 3. So if we have like 100, training 1, 2, 3, training 4, training 5, goes on like that, right? And then we're gonna enter our password here. A, B, C, D, 1, 2, 3, 4. Or if you want to secure your password, look, this is a secure password. Does it show ABCD? We already know the password is ABCD 1, 2, 3, 4. Does it say ABCD 1, 2, 3, 4? No, because it's secured. The text is secured. Do you understand what is secured? So if you go to yahoomail.com, look, I am sure everyone uses Yahoo Mail or Gmail, stuff like that, right? Or let's use Gmail. Why Yahoo is taking so much time? So go to Mail. And we need to type in our username, right? Username, whatever is it. Let's say I'm on. And the password. When we type in the password, does it show the password? It shows ... Why? Because this web page already knows that this is a secure thing that you are typing. So it doesn't want to show anyone that's around you what you are typing, right? It's secured, this text. But Ahmad is not secured because it doesn't need to be secured, right? But the password needs to be secured, so that's why it shows ... instead of the actual password. Let's say the actual password is Ahmad1234, right? So it's not showing Ahmad1234. Instead, it's securing that text, and instead it's showing ... So exactly like that in PeopleNtech. Look, you go to PeopleNtech, and if you type in your username, and when you start typing in your password, ABC, do you see it says ... So because the web page knows, it's smart enough to know that this is a secure text, and it needs to secure that text exactly the same way. When you type in your password, the QTPs or UFTs is smart enough to know that this is a secure text and needs to be hidden, right? Hidden from everyone, right? So do you see ABCD 1, 2, 3, 4 here? No. So what did it do? It secured that ABC 1, 2, 3, 4 and generated a random number and letters to cover ABCD 1, 2, 3, 4. Make sense, guys? It should make sense. All right. So there is another way to secure something. There is another way to secure any text with QTP. Let's say you don't want to show your username either. What would you do? Go to all programs. Guys, please pay attention what I'm doing. Click on Start. Click on all programs. Click on HP Software. And HP Software, HP Unified Functional Testing. And then go to Tools. Do you see Tools? and then click on password encoder. Do you see? And now, do you see what is password encoder? Everyone should have this in their computer, every single person. If you have UFT installed in your computer, you have this. Okay, so look, let's say our password is ABCD, or yeah, let's say ABCD1234. Do you see? And now if you click on generate, what will happen? Encoded string. Now, no one, if you put in this, right? Instead of ABCD1234, can anyone tell that this is ABCD1234? This is what you're trying to type. So now if you put, instead of putting ABCD1234, if you put this here, it will work. Make sense, guys? So that means this is ABCD1234. Okay, guys. That's exactly what we're gonna do. We are actually gonna type in, instead of the password, we're gonna type in the encoded string, the secure text. You see? So we added training 1, 2, 3, and all the password for these three are same. So all of them are same. Makes sense? This is just a password, and you could rename. Look, rename this tab or column. You could double click on A. Double click on A, not here, on A. Double click on it, and data table column name. This is called data table. I told you. You change it to user name, and this one, double click on it and change it to password. Just change it. Okay. Alright, guys, so username and password. Make sense? Alright. Actually, let's just first see if this script is working itself. Just make sure. We know it will work, but just to make sure, delete all of this. You don't need all of this, right? Adding wages statement. Anyway, so now what would it do? Actually, let's run it and then I'll tell you what it should do. You need to close the browser first. Okay? There is another way to close it. I'll show you in a second. So you should click on login. What happened? Did I delete the login part too? No worries. We'll go to auto repository. Because it got deleted by mistake, I could just drag and drop, right? Remember drag and drop? So now let's try it. See, we found an issue. So you know how I did it when I was learning QTP? Each and every time I wrote a line or I changed a line, I always ran the script before I moved to the next one. So that way, if I made a mistake in the previous step, I would have caught it right away. Because let's say you have thousands lines of code and there is a mistake in one line, right? Okay. In one line, right? There is a mistake in one line. So you have thousands lines of code. Do you think it will be that easy to find that mistake? No, it's not going to be that easy. So that's why you need to, once you make a change in, let's say in this line, right? You made a change. When we do descriptive programming, you will know what changes that I'm talking about. But just to give you an idea, if you make a change in here, let's say you have thousands line, you made a change in line number 14. What would you do? You would run it after you make a change in line number 14. So you would know if there is anything wrong or it's not running properly as before, then you would know the change that you made in line number 14, there is some problem. So you could fix it right away. You understand what I'm trying to say, okay? That's why I always try to make sure when I write something before I move to the proceed to the next step, okay? That way it's much more easier for you to learn. Okay, guys, there is less chance of you making mistakes, okay? All right. All right, guys? Okay. All right. So to do parameterization, so what we're trying to do is that instead of it running with only training one, since our job is to run it with all of these three, we wrote our usernames here and passwords here. So what we're trying to do is that take the usernames from this table. All right? Take the username from this table, from this data table, and run it. Take the first one and run it, and then take the second one and run it, and then, so we are learning programming now, guys. Please pay attention. Very simple programming. And then move to the next line and take the next line from training 3 and then run it from there. So how can we do it? We could do, and that's where the parameterization comes in place. So we click on first, make sure, go to file. Guys, this is very important. If you want to write it down, write down the steps, okay? So click on file. First, before you do anything, first click on file. Actually, let's save it first. I forgot the spelling, parameterization. That's how it is. With just save it. All right. So now, before you do anything again, look, there are 2 sheets exactly in Excel sheet. So if it ever gets changed to action 1, just go back to global, and you need to write everything in global. So like in Excel sheet, see, look, there are different sheets. There are different sheets too. Anyway, so guys, so before you do anything, you go to file, you go to settings. Again, file, settings, and then you go to run. You make sure it says run on all rows, I think. Okay? And then you click on OK. And now you go to view. Guys, please pay attention. If you want to write down the steps, write it down. You need to be very clear about this, because I always tell every single one that everything that we are doing in today's class is related to the next classes that we're gonna take. So what we're doing right now, it is very much important for the next classes, for you to understand next classes, any of the classes, okay? Everything is related, guys. Whatever we have done, everything is related. So please pay attention. Click on view. Again, write down the steps if you can memorize them. Click on view. Click on keyword view. Do you see? Can you do it? Very simple. And now, what are you gonna do? Look, there are 3 columns: item, operation, value. So what are we trying to change? Value, right? It says training 1, and then the password. So we are trying to change the value. We are trying to change the value to this. Why? Because we're trying to take all of these 3 instead of only 1. Right, guys? Please follow, guys. And then, so we click on user, this section, and then we click on, training, this part, the value, in the value column. And then we click on this icon, configure the value. Do you see the button? We click on that button. What it says, once we click on that, it says constant. We don't want the constant value. We want the parameterized value. Okay? Just leave it as it is. Forget about everything else. Just leave it as it is. And then click OK. So from constant, just click on parameter, and then click OK. Okay, I'm sorry. Should have been. So here again, sorry, from the name has to be changed from ptext to username, okay? And then click on OK. Okay? So now what we are saying is that take the data from the username column, right? And the same thing for the password. Click on this value. Click on this value column on password row. This is a row, right? And this is a column, right? So in the value column, click on the password row, and then click on this button, and then click on parameter again, and then from this drop down name, from the name section, click on the drop down and click on password, right? This is where we want to take the password from, right? And click on OK. Everyone is clear? That's it. Done. Your job is done. And now you go back, click on view, and go back to editor. So now what's happening? Look, it says that take the value from data table called username, and take the value from data table called password. Make sense, guys? All right. It will make more sense. I mean, everyone has questions. I'll take the questions in a second. First, let's run this, okay? Let's see if it's working. So it should run 3 times. First, it should run with training 1. It's running with training 1. So let's see. And then it should log out. Close the browser. And now it should run again. So it's running again, right? You didn't have to do anything. Now it should run with training 2. Do you see it's running with training 2? Do you see it's working? Yes. So do you know how to do parameterization? Absolutely. Log out and then close the browser. And then now it's run again, should run again. Training 3. Now it's working with training 3. And then you should log out. Close the browser. So did it work? Yes, guys. You see magic? So you learned a little bit of programming very easily. Step by step, right guys? Everyone is clear? Guys, this is very important, whatever we are doing, because this data table will be used many times. Everything is related, guys. So please do practice when you go home. Please do practice whatever we have done right now. This is very important. Okay? All right. Okay. So everyone follows? Everyone is clear? So, okay, if there is one more, if there is 100 usernames, let's say 120 usernames, can you do it? With the same script, you just have to take the values from the data table. If there is 100, 200, 500 usernames, still can you do it? Of course you could do it. So do we need to create different script for this? No. But you need to make sure when you, before you do anything, in settings, the run is in run on all rows. In run section, the data table iteration is set to run on all rows. It has to be clear. And it has to be made sure. All right, so let's take some question about this, because this is very important and you need to understand this very clearly. Yes, Hamid, you cannot create any username and password. Just practice with all these three, right? I gave you the username, these three, and the password I gave you already. You cannot use, you cannot create any username. Sattar Khan, may Allah bless you because how you teach. No, thank you so much. No, just the credit should go to you guys too, because you have patience. You're being patient with me too, no? All right, forget about the split action thing. I'll do it when we start learning discrete programming. Okay, guys? Forget about that. Sorry about that, but. Yeah. So guys, did you understand this? Very important. Can you show us how to get those username and password from Excel? I don't understand what you're trying to say. I didn't get it from Excel. I created them myself, right? And you can create them, but I'm giving you this username and password for your practice purposes, okay? What about if the person gives you wrong password? Why would they give you wrong password? What? VOLODYMOIR. Ukrainets? I'm really sorry, I can't pronounce your name. Well, I don't understand what you're saying. Can you show us again? What part? What part do you want me to show you? Sheikh Jubair. Yes, training 123 is created. I created it, so you could use it as many times as you want. The parameterization, okay. Yeah, the assignment, I do not like homework myself, so I don't like to give assignments, but I do tell you to practice. So if you want to consider it as assignment, do consider it as assignment, but I don't like to call it as assignment or homework. I never liked homeworks, but anyway, but if you want to consider it as assignment, do consider it as an assignment. That do practice whatever we have done right now, okay? The parameterization is very important.
Yes, actually, I appreciate. Assignment and practice has got a little bit difference. Practice means what the teacher has shown, you have to do it by yourself to see if it is going on as the teacher has shown. So on the contrast, assignment is a thing actually a teacher will be giving you, and you will have to do by yourself, all by yourself. So I believe after some of the proceedings, Mr. Alamin will be giving you some of the assignment what to do. Maybe those things are not exactly on PeopleNtech or some other websites also, or something like that. So assignment and practice has got a little bit difference. Mr. Alamin is telling you to do the practice because I believe there is a very interesting question in here where he show the steps again, not writing the scripts. Rather than writing the scripts, show the steps again. That's a good request, Alamin.
Yes. No, the assignment or, the things that they need to practice, everyone needs to practice whatever we're doing. The assignments will be given anyway at the end of the topic, each topic that we're doing. Okay, so just right now practice because everyone needs to understand what we're doing before I give out any assignments or anything, okay? All right, so, all right guys, so let me show you one more time. Let's just delete this. Let's say, okay, so let's say let's put it like before, so we could do it from the beginning. And set secure. Remember, how do you secure your password? Again, go to Start, All Programs, HP Software, sorry, and then go to HP Unified Functional Testing, and then go to Tools, right? And then go to Password Encoder, right? Again, guys, look how it's going from All Programs and then HP Software from the left. Guys, look from the left, very left. All Programs, and then HP Software, then HP Unified Functional Testing, then Tools, then Password Encoder. Do you see? Do you see the tree? And then click on that, and now put your password ABCD1234, and then click on Generate, and then just copy the whole thing. Select and just click on Copy. and then just paste it here, wherever you need to paste it. Do you see? Is it easy? Yes. All right, so everything else stays same. So again, before you do anything, just make sure this is working. So let's run it. Actually, before that, let me just check. So before anything, let's just run the changes that we made. Remember, I told you everyone should run each step before they move to the next part of that. Because we made changes, right? So let's see if it's working. It's working. Log out and then close the browser, right? Okay. So do you see? It worked, right? So now, again, before you do anything, the first thing you need to make sure is to go to File and then go click on Settings and then click on Run. And then make sure it's set to Run on all rows. Again, File, Settings, and then Run. And then Run on all rows. It's set to that. And click OK. Okay, guys? All right, so after you make sure that, of course, you need to put the username and password. You know how to do them. Very easy, just type in the username passwords. And if you want to rename the columns, if you want to rename the columns, you double click on the column name. For example, C. If you want to rename C, you just double click on C. And then you name it something, whatever you want to name, right? So, all right, and then your password, right? So we change that. Actually, let me do it from the. Okay, so let's say it's blank. Let's delete it. Okay, so let's say it's blank. It will be blank exactly like how it is right now. Okay, so what are you gonna do? Just first click on A, this A, right? Put the plus sign on A and double click on it, and just change it to username. Okay, then change it to password. Guys, following? And now put the usernames, which is training 1, training 2, and then training 3, right? Guys, I'm doing each very slowly. If it's, please follow and try to pay attention, please, guys. Okay, and now the password is all for all. It's same, right? You know that already. So just copy and paste the password here. Okay, we already secured it, so you don't need to worry about it. All right, So after you put the username and password like this, and then again you make sure, click on settings, run, it's on run on all rows, and then you go to view, click on view, and then you click on keyword view, and then you click on the user section, see user, do you see user, and then click on this training one, and then click on this configure the value, this button, click on that button, and then from constant click on parameter. So parameter should come from data table. I told you this is called data table. And then from the name, change the name from ptext to username, and click on OK. And for password, do the same, click on the password, and then click on this button, and then click on parameter, from constant click on parameter, and then from this drop down menu click on password. Okay guys, everyone is clear? And then click on, leave everything else as it is, and then click on OK. Okay guys, and now click on view again and click on editor. Do you see it changed from training 1? From training 1 it changed to data table username and data table password. Do you see? So now that means it's saying take it from these two columns. Okay guys? Alright. So now let's run it. Let's see what's happening. So it should run 3 times with the 3 different usernames. So first it should run in training 1. So it's running with, now it's gonna run, it should run with training 2. Did it run with training 2? Yes. You can see, right? The magic happens. Very simple and easy, just practice. So now if you have 1,000 usernames, your supervisor gives you 1,000 usernames, are you gonna panic? You're gonna be like, oh my god, too much work. Absolutely not. It's not that much of work at all, right? Once you get used to it, you will do it like within like 2 minutes, not 5 seconds, like 2 minutes, 1 or 2 minutes. Okay, so do you see how easy it is? They work? Absolutely. If you want to see the result, click on view, click on last time result. Do you see it worked for all of those 3? And everything passed. See? Everyone is clear? So if you have different paths, so let's say if you have ABCD 1, 2, 3, 4 for training 1, and then if you for training 2, if you have let's say if you have DEF or WSD 1, 2, 3, so just put them here. Different one, if you have different one, just put it here. Like I put it here. If you have training 1, then we have training 2, training 3, exactly like that. If you have different passwords, put it for different passwords. Okay? What? Shaima Halim? Okay? So the password is ABCD1234. No problem. Ahmad Dawood, no problem. Look, so if you have different password, no, later. Ahmad Islam, I'll do the split action later, okay? Because they changed the split action to something else, and it's not they're saying when I looked into HP website, they said in UFT 11.5 the split action is not relevant, and they didn't explain why it's not relevant for them anymore. So, but anyway, we'll do it, don't worry, later on in this programming. Okay, so guys, look. So let's say the password for training 1 is 12 ABCD 1 2 3 4. So you would say ABCD 1 to January, and then copy it and then paste it here. Look, guys, what I'm doing. Right? And then for, let's say, for the second one, training 2, the password is QWES, something like that, okay? And then 1 2 3 4, something like that. Then you click on January, right? So this is for training 2, and then you would copy that and you put it here. Do you see? So let's say the third one for training 3, you have hello. The password is hello 1 2 3. Then you would put that here and then click on January, and then you copy and then you paste it here. So all of these 3 has different passwords. Make sense? So if you have different passwords, you put different passwords. If you have different username, you put different username, like that. Okay, guys? Shaima Halim, okay? Alright. Where we can find the editor? What do you mean? No, editor is nothing else. It just, when you click on view and then keyword view, if you want to go back to how it was before, you click on view and then you click on editor, and then it will come to normal. Okay, guys? Okay? Who is it? Shafiuddin Ahmad? Alright? No problem. So any more questions, guys? You guys do practice this. This is very important. Yes, yes. Mahesh, you're absolutely right. It does generate different strings, even though the password is same, okay? That's for security reasons, as you could understand. Mahesh. If you click on view and then test flow, what do you mean? View? Where is test flow? Oh, test flow. Oh, no. That's a different thing. Guys, let's not worry about the thing. Parameterization is much more important. I mean, everything is important. Parameterization is much more important than split test, because split test is not as widely used as before, because remember in the beginning classes I told you record and run used to be used everywhere, but nowadays they don't use record and run anymore. I mean, more companies are using descriptive programming, which you will learn in next few classes, and frameworks, right? Because framework and you could see that in record and run, it's completely dependent on object repository. But in descriptive programming, it's not dependent on anything. It's purely coding, and it's much more easier to use. You'll see, okay, what I'm talking about. So that's why split test is not that as widely used anymore. Probably that's why in UFT 11.5 ignored it or they didn't want to add it. That's why they said irrelevant. But still, I'll try to do it. Don't worry about it. We need to learn it, and we'll learn it in discrete programming, okay? But with record and run, it's not being possible as of right now. So don't worry about it. But this parameterization, even though we did it in record and run, we're going to do it with discrete programming too. In discrete programming, it's a little more advanced. So you need to understand the basic one first, which is this one, in order for you to understand the advanced one, right? So that's exactly what I'm doing right now. So you need to understand this very, very clearly. Absolutely, you need to be absolutely clear about this in order for you to understand the next parameterization that I'm going to do. Okay, guys? So please do practice. Don't worry about the split action. We'll do it in next class. Okay? Don't worry. Yes, you could use this user ID and password for now. Okay? Shafiuddin. What? Tawfiqul Naim? What? Tawfatul Naim? What do you mean? How to automatically move on to the next set of ID? The QTP or the UFT, this program that we are learning, will do it automatically for you. You don't need to move manually. Okay? You just do whatever I have done. You just write down the username and password here, and then you go to keyword view, and then you change this, and then it will do automatically for you. You don't need to do anything else. You don't need to manually click on anything. If you just click on play, it will do it for you. Okay? So did you follow whatever we have done it like almost 2 times? Did you follow Fatul Naim? Do it exactly the way I did it right now, because we're in the learning stage. Then you would see it will work. Okay? Any more questions? Do you guys understand this? Everybody is clear? What? How do you see the script on the action 1 tab? What do you mean? Hamid, I don't understand. What do you mean? Because probably it's in here. Just click on action 1. Alright, any more questions? No more questions? Alright guys, so do practice whatever we have showed. I'll try to show, and if you have any question, you could ask me. Alright guys, so I would like to end the session, and tomorrow we're going to learn about environment variable and recovery scenario and other things. So till then, do practice, and I hope to see you guys tomorrow. Thank you so much. Have a wonderful night. So thank
you very much, Alamin. Yes, I'm closing the session.